Terrific. Terrific.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Thank you both very much. How cool was that? Was that cool?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we're going to sit down with the legendary Gregory Hines.
Love it.
We're back with Gregory Hines, who began dancing when he was just 3 years old, and he turned professional at age 5. He's gone on to become one of Hollywood's most versatile entertainers, and I'm glad he's here today. Hello, Gregory.
Hello, Roseanne.
Thank you for being here.
Good to be
Do
here.
you remember like 100 years ago when I opened for you in Atlantic
Atlantic
City?
City, it was 1985.
Yeah. It's like
No,
when
yeah, 85.
yeah, it was that was like my first gig that I got.
I remember.
I was flying out there and opening for
You were hysterical.
Thank you.
I think I had seen you.
You were so nice to me, too.
Well, thanks.
You were very nice and supportive, and it was scary, and like you were for these kids
I was
today.
scared, too, because I hadn't really done a solo nightclub act at that point.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was one of your first.
Right, so I was scared.
You were scared. You were so nice to come for these young kids.
Well, you know, I was happy to do it. I did see them on the promenade, and I was so impressed with them. And I just found out today that Alfred DeCio is their teacher. Is Alfred here?
Yeah, he was over there watching.
Alfred has been doing this his whole life. He's been taking young people and working with them and giving them something that they'll have.
Yeah.
That's just his way. Alfred, he's such an impressive guy. He's over at USC.
You got to meet Sammy Davis Jr. when you were younger, right? So he was kind of like, it's kind of like when they met you, when you met him.
Well, that's very flattering. I mean, for me, meeting Sammy Davis it was a dream come true because I idolized him from the time I was 10 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And our paths crossed as years went on, and he was always so generous to me and giving, you know, and everybody's got an idol.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody, you know, there's some young Little League player who idolizes Mark McGuire.
Right.
But the chances of actually spending any time with Mark McGuire,
Right.
It's not going to happen. But Sammy Davis he'd see me, he'd bump into me, and he'd say, you know, show me a step. And I'd do a step, and he'd say, oh, that's great. You're really good. You're talented.
How cool is that to hear?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my whole year would be made. And then I'd go see him perform, and he would acknowledge me and my brother from the stage.
Right. He was a big idol of mine, too. Like, for all performers, he was one of the greatest performers ever. And I got to meet him when I think it was like 85 or 86 in New York. I was at this Italian restaurant, and he was having this family thing in the next room with, like, hundreds of people that were in his family for his birthday or something.
Yeah.
And he actually, this is, like, very moving. The cool thing about being in show business is when you can meet your idols, like you say, not everybody gets to.
Right.
But he actually left his family party and came
Came
out.
over to you.
And you know, he kissed my hand, and he told me he thought I was great.
Yeah.
And how awesome that was.
Well, I think he was aware of his responsibility
Yeah, he totally
as a great
was.
artist.
Yeah.
And he knew what it meant to someone else
Right.
for him to do that.
Right.
And he was always right.
And you know, it means so much to kids to like reach back and give them a compliment, especially to any kids who are in the arts for somebody they admire. So I think that you charge these guys for at least a year.
At least.
And they're so good, aren't they?
Great, great. I mean, the things that they're doing, very complicated stuff. And also, they make it look easy. Right. And when I see young people doing it like that, I think it is easy for them. I think that they...
Well, he said that's why I asked him if he thought he could do it or knew he could do it. And he said he knew at 7 that he could do it because it looked like he got it.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the greatest in this art form that
Right
there
now?
is? Yeah.
Savion Glover. Yeah, I think that Savion is... Yeah, I mean, I don't, it's very difficult to say someone is the best ever.
But you did say that about him.
And I do feel that way. I do. I mean, I know there's always someone who can argue that kind of a statement, but I haven't seen everyone, but I've seen most of the really great tap dancers, and I just think that he is the best tap dancer that ever lived.
Wow.
And
what a
anybody,
great compliment for
and
you.
anybody who gets an opportunity to see him, I know that he is back in Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk on Broadway for a month now, and anybody who's going to New York or is in New York, if you get a chance to see him, it's just, I mean, I love tap dancing.
Right.
I'm always happy to hear it and see it, but, you know, I'm always thrilled when I see him
Because you're
work.
a master of it. But you also have gone on and you're like a master of many domains these days.
You
aren't
think so?
Yeah, acting. And I want to talk about your sitcom, and you know how I told you when I saw you before, how you were acting just with your body and no words. It's like, besides Charlie Chaplin, I never saw anybody do it as well as I saw you do it.
Thank
so
you.
I'm very glad that you're here and talking to me. When we come back, Gregory's going to talk about his hippie days on Venice Beach. I want to hear about that too.
Hey, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, you gotta prove me wrong. Hey, well, you gotta
We're back.
Yes.
And we want to talk about when you were a great big old hippie living down there in Venice Beach
Oh,
and
those were
smoking
good
marijuana
days.
and all that stuff.
As much as I could. Yeah, no, those were, and I had a huge afro in those days, which I don't know if my hair could grow that long now, but I had one. I mean, I could see it peripherally myself.
That's cool.
And then if I would walk fast, it would like go like that. Took a lot of care.
It would go a little bit ahead of you, huh?
Yeah, and it was just great. I mean, I had been married very young, and when I got out of that marriage in '73, I had a 4-year-old daughter, and I had moved to Venice, California, and became a hippie, and it was just great. I mean, I was very fortunate to go in that door and come out the other side,
Right.
because there were a lot of drug experimentation going on, and I know a lot of people who went in and didn't come out.
Didn't come out, right.
But
So we
great
were talking
times.
about our kids now, because we have the kids that, you know, I did the whole hippie thing. I lived on the hippie commune and
Ah,
smoked everything. the whole deal.
communes. Remember
yeah.
those?
Yeah, artist communes.
It had to be an artist.
Yeah, we had to say it was
Yeah,
artist.
we were
but
artists. We were expressing ourselves on the artistic.
But now we were talking about how our kids are like following in that, and they're kind of living, the younger kids, our kids, my kids, and your kids, are kind of trying to live that same way, but with some differences.
Well, you know, it's too dangerous now. I mean, that was a sexual revolution, and we were questioning everything. Anything that my parents said is the way to do it, I wanted to question it. And now that the kids, certainly they still want to question, they still want to go their own way and make their own mistakes, but they have to be more careful now because
Right.
it's scary.
Yeah, they can't have that like careless open sex or whatever it was that we talked about that we had, which was really traumatic when you look at it.
I had a great time. I remember
Well,
being...
for guys, yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't so careless and traumatic for the women,
No,
though.
and also during that time, I remember I was involved with a lot of men's groups because I was a single father at that point, and I had a 4-year-old daughter, and I knew that I was a chauvinist pig. I mean,
You
I
did?
knew
You
it.
knew that
Oh, I knew
consciously?
it, and I didn't want to
Wow.
mess up my daughter, so I got involved in these men's groups, these you know, consciousness-raising men's groups in Venice, with a lot of other hippie fathers who had daughters who, you know, we didn't want to hurt them and affect their self-esteem. And so that period, that hippie period, was really very growthful for me. I learned a lot about myself. I learned how to take care of myself. I discovered the joys of parenting.
What'd you learn about being a big old sexist pig?
Well, I learned that ultimately it was not a happy life.
No.
That ultimately it was, you know, it was an anger towards women and a dislike towards women and in many ways a fear of being like a woman.
Isn't it that? Isn't it so
Well, in many
that?
ways, yeah, because I was the generation of boys that was raised. My mother raised me. My
Right.
father worked.
Right.
And it's only normal for someone to take on a lot of the characteristics of someone who's raising you.
Right. Well, the mother.
Right, but that's not allowed. That wasn't allowed. You know, it was like be a man and you know, take it like a man and one day you'll grow up
Don't
to
be
be
like
man.
a woman.
Right. So, you know, I was very fortunate that my father was a very sensitive man and still is. And so I came from a very loving, nuclear, supportive household. And that helped me when I discovered my own sexism. And I certainly don't want
Did
to
it,
talk
like-
as if I'm evolved. I mean, I still struggle
Well,
with
you
it.
are evolved, though.
Well, I'm trying to, and you know, it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. But my daughters help me, and
And so, how's your daughter with like are you happy with the way that you raised her up and the way
Oh
she turned
yeah,
out?
yeah, both of them. I have two daughters. I have a daughter and then I have a stepdaughter who I've known all her life, and you know I couldn't be more proud of them. I mean, in the way they conduct themselves. I have a grandson. I have a
Wow.
4-year-old grandson.
See, I wish
Lucia,
I had grandsons.
where can I say?
I want grandkids, but my kids, I think it's because of the way I told them about what I did. They don't even like go with anybody or have sex.
You'll have them.
You think so?
Yeah, you'll have them. And so,
they're
can I say hello
scarred.
to my grandson?
Yeah.
Where would I say?
In the camera.
Hi, Lucian.
No.
Hi, it's Grandpa.
It's
Hi, Lucian.
Grandpa. Oh, how cute. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here we are talking with Gregory Hines. Is it awesome to be a grandpa?
It's great. It's great. It's great to be a grandfather, but it's also, I enjoy watching my daughter mother.
Yeah.
I like watching her do it. She's much more calm and relaxed.
How cool of karma would that be to like raise your daughter with consciousness that you just talked about and then see her raise a son
Yes.
and know that you know, put something out there that'll go on.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I find that it's very difficult for me to take any credit for my children and for the way they've developed. You know, I'm impressed by them. You know, they've done most of it.
You're impressed by your father and mother too.
Oh yeah.
Pretty political. I love that story. Can we talk about it?
What?
Well, your dad was going to be was a baseball player, and
Well, he was one of those. He was one of the first. When Jackie Robinson broke the color line, my father was playing semi-pro ball, and
Wow.
and they looked at him, and my father likes to say that it's a good thing they didn't pick him
instead of Jackie
because
Robinson.
the black man would just now be getting another shot at breaking the color line.
Why? Because he couldn't have maintained
Well,
that.
he was a hot-headed guy, my father, very hot-headed, and but he could play. But it took somebody like Jackie Robinson, somebody
to
who
be
could,
calm
who
and
could
centered.
be, yeah, submissive
No,
to
it
the
was,
goal.
No, it was like something larger than just him.
Yeah, because Jackie Robinson had a chip on his shoulder. He was a pretty hot-headed guy too. He just recognized what he had to do, and he certainly paid for it as he got older. I mean, he really, you know, to go against his own bent of nature was tough.
Do you feel there's like anything? Because I remember like in the 60s and everything, there was like some bad attitude towards people who, I mean, I was talking about, I was really left in the 60s, very left. And there was a bad attitude and a bad political view of tap dancing.
Well, I think that as African Americans in the 60s started to become more aware of their own beauty and their own sense of self, there were certain things that they felt they had to let go of. You know, like when I was a young boy, I watched Amos and Andy on TV,
Right.
and I loved it. I was a big fan of Louis Armstrong, and I loved it. But there were certain aspects of show business that that African Americans felt like they had to let go and move forward, and I could certainly understand that. And tap dancing was one of those things that seemed to be a bit condescending in its nature. You know, the happy, smiling Negro dancer. But I think that it's through people like Sammy Davis, who, right through the 60s, he was considered, you know, the greatest entertainer alive, and whatever Sammy Davis did was all right.
Right.
And he continued to tap dance and kept it credible.
It was kind of like having to cut away some part to get to a clearer part. But now how cool is it that it seems like it's coming back, and it's like to hip-hop music, so it has a whole new political connotation that's like kind of honors the past but brings it into the future.
Right. Well, we have a real champion in Savion, because he really is. He's a 25-year-old young African-American man. He is the greatest tap dancer alive today, and he makes it contemporary. And so what we have is a wave of young kids,
Right.
like the brothers here,
Right.
who want to be like Savion.
Right.
And so I feel like in the next 5-6 years, we're going to wind up with some 20-year-old dancers who can really go.
I think it's a real healing thing, too. I feel it's got a lot of healing around it.
Well, that's because you tap so well.
Well, because I'm so damn good,
That's right.
But, you know, I was just saying, like, from the 60s to the 90s, and a lot of consciousness was raised, and a lot of stuff was left, and a lot of stuff was brought, and it seems like we're at a good place now. with
I
a
hope
lot
so.
of stuff that we did.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Thank you for being here. It was so nice to
My
talk to
pleasure.
you. Coming up next, Wendy Liebman's going to make us laugh or else I'll slap her. Don't go away. Hey, if you're in the LA area and want to see my show, call 1-800-485-6885. The American Comedy Awards, George Schlotter's deal, named my next guest Best Female Comic in 1997, and I ought to know, I presented her with the award. Please welcome the hilarious Wendy Liebman.
Whoa. Ooh,
You-
I need Dramamine or something.
Your hair looks great.
Well,
you look
thank
wonderful.
These are, I said, give me the Friends cut, and they made me look like Ross. And these are extensions. You
They're
know-
extensions? I see. I need those too.
No, they're really.
Oh, they're really
Yeah, I
your hair?
push the button and they. it comes out.
Tressie, the Tressie doll. How funny are you? You are about the funniest
I
woman
don't
in the
know,
world.
but I was watching Gregory Hines talking about his idols, and I just have to say that I was once at the Improv, and you walked up to me and you told me I was funny, and I said, "Pinch me," because I thought I was dreaming. This is like such a dream come true to be on your show.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you for being here. Now, let's get to these questions.
Oh, okay.
That's very nice, though. Thank
It's
you.
true. And my boyfriend was like, I said to my then boyfriend, pinch me, and he hit me. So.
So did you dump him for hitting you?
I think he dumped me. That was
Oh.
he dumped me. But we were incompatible anyway. Like, I'm a night person, and he didn't like me. Details.
So are you single now, Wendy?
I'm single. I almost got married. I almost married this one guy just to get. I'm not really proud of this. Almost married him to get my green card. Yeah, my American Express. And you know what? But he left home without me.
What kind of guy are you looking for?
He's got to be sensitive. I want
Really?
I want a sensitive man. I want a man who will cry when I hit him. I want. No, I'd never hit a man if he were awake. But I want a man who's like has a job. Hello,
Yeah, that would
a
be
job
good.
and
job.
a car.
Yeah.
And somebody like my father, a family guy, married. Somebody. No, I would never do that again. I won't even touch a married man in public. Never, never.
In public? Did you really go with a married guy?
No, I would never do that. I don't even like to date a guy who's married to his job. I don't want that at all. But my dad is really hoping that I get married.
That's how I am with my daughters.
Are you?
Well, how old are you?
Well, I'm 37.
So you've got to get. Why aren't you
I
married?
know. Well, I'm just waiting for a
You're waiting to
proposal.
meet the
No, I'm
right guy.
37. I'm like at my sexual peak and my credit limit. And Roseanne, I've been on so many blind dates. I should get a free dog.
And you're just not meeting the right
Sometimes I
kind of
do.
guy?
I know. Like every once in a while, like I was at the bakery and I was standing in line
Yeah.
eating all the free samples, and this really cute guy was flirting with me. And finally, he came up and he asked for my number, and I gave it to him, and then I had to take a new one, and. But I was flying back here. I was just in Denver. I know that's like where you
Yeah, I
started.
started
I
in
love Denver because like the mountains make my butt look small and everything, right? And but I was in Denver. Are you faking it?
No.
I was. Guys fake it too. You know that,
I
right?
think that's true.
Hello, cubic zirconia. Hello.
That's how they
That was a
fake
joke.
it?
That
Oh.
was a joke. I guess not. But I was flying back from Denver,
Yeah.
and there was a guy sitting next to me, and I could kind of tell that he really wanted me.
How could you tell?
To shut up. I could tell because he kept saying, "Shut up." No, because I was chatting and chatting. He was busy, flying the plane. He was like very. Whatever. But I've been traveling around. I mean, you did the.
Have you ever gone to therapy? I have to ask you this. Have you ever been in therapy for like...
Why? Because I'm on the couch right now?
No, but I was thinking about your act and your approach, which is like totally unique. Nobody's ever done it. It's so female. But it's also, because you know why I think it's so female, Wendy?
Why?
Because it's so passive aggressive.
Oh.
You say everything under your breath with a big smile on your face. But it's hilarious. But what's the truth about that?
The therapy part?
No,
or...
the passive aggressive part.
No, I don't have a mean bone in my body. It's in my mouth. No, but I've been in therapy. I mean, I was a psychology major, so of course, you know, now I'm in therapy. But my therapist, he says I'm like sarcastic and full of denial, whatever. But, see, and you told me I was passive aggressive. I could have just paid you the $100. But he's a bad therapist. He can't even validate my parking.
So how long have you been going? You're Jewish, right?
Half Jewish.
Half Jewish.
And half asleep. No, I'm Jewish.
It's kind of sad. Here you are, in therapy, Jewish, 37 and not married.
Does anybody have a razor? No, I'm okay. You know,
Are you okay with being single? And
I think my dad thinks I'm Ellen.
oh, really?
I mean, you know what I mean. I watch Ellen, the show, in the closet with my girlfriend, but I'm not. No, I'm not a lesbian, but I've practiced just in case. But I'm not. Can I say that on
Yeah,
daytime?
you can say that.
No, I'll find the guy. Someday my prince will come. I dated royalty once, actually.
You did? Who
Well,
was
he
that?
was Prince of Darkness, but he was a royal pain in the... Can I say?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you could say that.
I love your necklace.
Isn't it cute?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And your ring. My best friend just lost her wedding ring.
Really?
I know. She had to get another husband. I can't even find one. I go on the blind... I told you.
Maybe we can set you up on this. I got this date my daughters thing going on, but it's like just to find Jewish guys. I'll tell you about it when we come back.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll also hear how Wendy maintains her girlish figure. Don't go away.
On the next Roseanne Show, rock legend Ike Turner talks about life with his ex-wife Tina.
Well, here we are back with Wendy, and we're
I'm still single.
Still single after all these years.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about that, and we will get to it. But what's the real problem there?
Well, no, I just don't like dating. I think that's what it is. Because I'm never myself on a date. Like, they're always so awkward. I never eat as much as I want. I have to speak in that British accent. And I think I'm old-fashioned. I
Really?
like it when the guy pays for sex. I like that. That would make me Heidi Fleiss.
Now, so...
They say I look like Heidi.
You
I
do look
do
like
I?
Heidi
I've been
Fleiss
getting
a
that
little.
from, like, a lot of my tricks. A lot.
So are you all caught up in this fitness craze thing, like all the other single women?
Well, you know, I quit smoking
That's
crack.
good.
And,
Crack.
No, I would never do crack. I don't know how to cook. But I quit smoking, so I started working out, right? But I joined this health club. It's in Beverly Hills, and it's a little too fancy, Roseanne. They have a spiral Stairmaster, and and I was on, so I do that a little bit, but then I was on the treadmill one day because I had like nowhere to go, right? And there was a guy in front of me, and he's like rowing, and I'm yelling, stroke, stroke, because I was having one, because I am not, I'm talking too fast.
No.
I'm not used to running. I mean, I go running when I have to, when the ice cream truck is going 60.
I don't like
But
to
I
run
hate
either.
running, no. My brother convinced me in 1984 to run in the Boston Marathon.
And you did it?
I'm not bragging. I finished last October. But I paced myself. It's about pacing.
You know, Wendy, I think you are so funny and so nice and so sweet. And I just want to tell you, I have this guy on my staff, and he really is really sweet and nice too, Jewish, single, you know, and he cannot find any nice girls to date because it's the same for the, guys as it is for the girls in Los Angeles. So I like to just bring him out and introduce you guys. Mark,
been on.
It's kind of a blind date. Mark, sit down.
Oh my God.
Mark,
Hello there.
Wendy,
Oh my
and
God.
Mark, sit down. Both Jews,
You know,
both Jewish and single.
Jewish women are very high maintenance, though. I don't know. Are you high
no,
maintenance?
no. If you give me hydrogen and oxygen, I'll make my own water. I am so low maintenance.
That was very exciting.
And you smell good. What are you wearing? Is that Obsession?
This is Dial. That's what I'm
Dial. Okay. Because somewhere I put on like a whole magazine. I put on like.
Well, I do that on the magazines
Do
too.
you? You know the little. I know it's page 26. I got. It's Channel 5. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be ignoring you, but the little boys who were dancing, they got Gregory Hines. I get Mark.
Oh, but Mark is so great.
Come on.
Oh, I meant that in a good way.
very
Do you like to bowl?
I do.
You do.
Was I being setting up for a joke? I don't know. Is there a
Just
bowling
want to know
joke
what-
coming?
Oh, he's
know your
overly
hobbies
sensitive
are.
because he had a mean date last week.
did.
He's very sensitive, but you know what? You should just take a deep breath because I sense there's something here that could actually happen, and I will pay for the two of you to go out to dinner.
Really? I have to say this, so my only problem is that I'm afraid that if you date a stand-up and then you break up, you become part of her act.
Absolutely.
You humiliate me in front of the teeming millions
There's no
who see you.
prenuptial, Mark. It's like you have to just sign a little piece of paper that says I can use you in my act.
But I know Wendy for many years, so I'll say she's not your typical girl stand-up. She has a heart and a soul, and she's very, very sweet. So she's not.
Except
I'm
for
not
that
throwing you to the
passive-aggressive
wolves,
stuff.
except for the passive-aggressive thing. But she sees a shrink, so it's okay.
Okay.
No, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't throw you to the wolves. There's something happening here. You know how many people I fixed up? I have to tell you, I have fixed up so many people who have gone on to get married and stayed together for many, many years, and I do have this feeling, and Mark, be a man. Now, come
Okay.
on, be a man. Don't be a baby. We know you're sensitive. You don't want to be hurt, but come on.
Okay.
I just want everyone to be as happy as I've been in my 3 marriages.
Well, I've never been divorced officially, but I feel like I have been divorced without the alimony. I mean, that's, you know, because I've broken up or been broken up with a lot. Are you going to break up? Oh, my God, there's something between us already.
Mark's just so frightened.
Are
You know, a lot of Jewish guys are really, really afraid of women because, you know, I guess they have a thing with their mother or something, but they're afraid of being hurt because they have been hurt. And you are a wonderful person, and you are a wonderful person, and I swear she's not going to hurt you.
She says wonderful person now. Before and after the show, it's a whole different thing. Now I'm a wonderful person.
I've never dated a guy with facial hair,
Breathe
Roseanne.
through it. Breathe through it.
Do you have a lot of pet peeves? I feel like I'm on the Love Connection or something.
You are on the Love Connection.
Because my last boyfriend, he hated when I borrowed his razor and shaved his back. He hated that. Do you hate that?
My last boyfriend, same way. Who knew?
Are you gay?
No.
I didn't think you were.
You're open-minded, though.
I am open-minded.
You're sometimes closed for remodeling. I sense the Love Connection here,
Yeah,
don't
I think
you?
so, too.
Do you sense it? No, you can't be in love because you're just too frightened, aren't you?
That's not true.
You're just too
I am
frightened.
open.
You are open?
I'm open. I'm ready. I'm ready to receive love if anyone gives it to me in a form and shape in which I can accept it.
Cash. Okay, so he likes to bowl. We
Yeah.
know that. I
Bowl.
went to a Japanese bowling alley in New York City. We had to rent the bowling shoes, but we weren't allowed to wear them inside. We had to leave them at the mat.
You could maybe do that. Where would you like to go eat? I'll go with you. I'll
Okay,
chaperone,
good.
okay?
Okay.
I'll go with you.
But not
and-
pinks.
Not pinks,
Not
okay.
pink. You know,
I'll take you both somewhere to eat so that I can be in the middle and, like, force you to be together.
Okay.
Okay? What, does
it's my
that sound
dream
good?
to go to a spinning restaurant, like the stage spins here. So we could just get drunk and go to Denny's. How about that?
Denny's. Done. Grand slam, baby.
Poor Mark.
Am I on candid
something into
camera?
No, poor Mark. Anyway,
Poor Mark. I'm the
No.
guest on the show.
no, I just mean because he's just kind of, you know, he's just so frightened.
I
I don't
know.
feel sorry for you though because you know, I've seen you. You have quite a few in, you know what I mean. You get around. You know what I mean. You've got a few guys out there already. You're always with a guy and he's always cute.
Thank you. See, you could have been one of them.
I can be one of them now.
We're going to Denny's.
We're going to
Don't
Denny's?
see. Look how you're both like resisting, and you know, just go with it for 1 minute. Just for 1 minute.
How scared do I look?
You're both so scared. You're both scared, but you know what? You never know.
You know, I have nothing to say to him right now, but those lulls will be filled up when we're talking about the kids. Right, Mark?
I agree.
Thank you, Wendy. You're
Thank you,
hilarious, and it's so
Roseanne.
wonderful to have you. Thank you, Mark. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Did I get lipstick on you?
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. I think we might have made a match. My wonderful guests for joining me today, the audience and you at home. See you next time. I think we might have made a match. I'm very excited about it.